have to talk about. Last time we talked about using clickers to have a clear picture of what the students were learning, each individual student, and you identified a goal, and this was the teaching strategy. So I've created a couple of checklists, and I'm going to talk to you about them. The first one is the checklist for the clickers and what to do. Remember, you ensure all those students respond. You develop a group response ritual, so they have to learn how to hold up the cards and things like that. You ask the students to explain their responses, like you go over the questions. Repeat it if you need to ensure clarity. Reinforce using the assessment results and effective questioning techniques. Okay. And then this one is afterwards, so you can reflect. Did your questions effectively address the key learnings and standards? Should you change any questions? Do the assessments address the right things? Was I able to monitor all of their progress? And did students have a clear understanding of the progress? Okay. Do you want to change or modify any of those?
No, those look really good.
Okay. So you can decide if you want to have me come in and help you teach using clickers, or you can come in and see me model a lesson using clickers, or you can watch a video about how to use clickers.
I'd like to see you do it. That would be good.
Okay.
Very helpful.
So how about let's talk about coming in tomorrow during your planning, which is third block, and do that. Time to implement the practice. When will you implement this? Do you want to do it?
I'm going to be doing it Thursday during my fourth period.
Okay.
Definitely.
So that'll be after I've modeled.
Yeah, possibly first and second, but I know definitely fourth period for psychology.
Okay. The word selection refers to the process by which prisoners A, were chosen for a particular commando, B, were chosen to live or die, C, were chosen to be capos, or D, selected shoes and clothing. Remember, once it checks off your name, you can put it down. Okay. And then just waiting on RJ. Leah, you're flashing yours. You might want to make sure do yours going on. Mine? Yep. RJ, make your fingers down this a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think it picked up on you and I was trying to get him. Okay. All right. So, 2 people chose A, nobody chose C, 2 people chose D, and 7 of you chose B. So, Carly, why did you choose D?
Because I read about how some people had newer shoes, and if they did, they would be
Taken away from them?
Yeah.
Yeah. What else did they take away from them if they wanted it? Got their in their mouth.
Their gold crowns.
Yes. All right, but the correct answer is selection means where they were chosen to live or die. When they got to the camp and they sent some people one way and they sent other people the other way, that was the selection process. All right, during an air raid at Buna, one prisoner, A, crawls to the cauldrons of soup and is shot. B, races to the barbed wire fence and crawls up it. C, seizes an SS officer and kills him. Or D, calls for the other prisoners to revolt.
I don't think I remember that.
All right, 3 people chose A, 2 chose B, 2 chose C, 4 people said D. Okay. Tyler, why did you choose A?
Because I feel like it's something familiar I've read in the book.
You remember reading that part?
Yes.
What's an air raid?
Where the bombs come.
Where the planes come over and they throw bombs. So where would the prisoners have to be during an air raid?
Inside.
Inside. Probably because they don't want them to see, that there are prisoners there. So they were actually in line for food when that happened. So if you were a prisoner and you are they getting very much food?
No.
No. And you saw all of this soup out there and nobody guarding it, what would you want to do?
Take it.
You would want to take it. And A is the correct answer. So Tyler, Jerome, and Luca got that one. All right, this one you don't have to be up to chapter 6 because you should be able to do it based on your knowledge of these terms. In chapter 6, Ellie states that death enveloped me, it suffocated me, it stuck to me like glue. I felt I could touch it. He uses blank and blank to describe how easy it would be to die. So we've got A, metaphor and hyperbole, B, metaphor and simile, C, hyperbole and simile, or D, personification and simile. Nobody chose A. 8 people chose B, 2 people chose C, and 1 person chose D. Okay, so I'm going to go to the 1 person. Carly, why did you choose personification and simile?
Because for personification, it said that it felt dead, touch it, I could touch it or something, and it suffocated me, and it said, compared it using like, when saying it's like glue.
And that is correct. Only one of y'all got it.
See, I was stuck between that one and the hyperbole. I couldn't
What
remember.
does that mean? What is hyperbole?
I couldn't remember what that meant.
Oh God, what is
Anybody remember what hyperbole is? Jack?
Hyperbole was like the, wasn't that the repeating? Or is that,
that's alliteration.
oh, hyperbole.
Hyperbole is an extreme exaggeration.
Uh,
Now that you know that that is what hyperbole means, let's see. Callie and Amelia, would you choose this one again? If you know hyperbole means extreme exaggeration, you think you still would choose it?
For this?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd probably go with the bottom one because I was stuck between those two.
All right, and then how about on, yeah, nobody chose that one. Okay, and then a lot of you chose metaphor and simile, so you probably saw the like, you got simile. Why were y'all thinking that the other part was the metaphor? Because why? You thought it was comparing death to what?
Oh, wait. Metaphor was one without like or as, right? Oh, I thought it was something else. Never mind.
Yeah. All right, last question. Now, the reason these are color-coded is that there are 2 different paragraphs, okay? So the first paragraph, the news spread through Siget like wildfire. Soon, that was all people talked about, but not for long. Optimism soon revived. The Germans will not come this far. They will stay in Budapest for strategic reasons, for political reasons. In less than 3 days, German army vehicles made their appearance on our streets. How are these paragraphs important to the structure of the overall passage? This was early in the book, so all of y'all should have read this far. Is it A, they create a sense of confusion by describing the citizens' reactions upon the arrival of the troops? Is it B, they create a sense of excitement by explaining the citizens' emotions upon receiving the news of the German troops' movements? Is it C, they create a sense of tension by explaining the German troops' sudden appearance when the citizens felt at ease? D, they create a sense of hostility by describing the German troops' actions as confrontational when they arrived in the city. You're just basing on just these 2 paragraphs. All right. Now we're kind of all over the place on this one. 3 people chose A, 4 people chose B, 2 people chose C, 2 people chose D. All right, so Jack,
Ma'am,
you were one of the 2 that chose C. Why did you choose C?
I chose C because some people were saying that the Germans wouldn't make it that far, and when they suddenly arrived, it created tension.
What about this part where it says the citizens felt at ease? What does that mean?
At ease, like
What does that at ease mean?
kind of, if you have tensions, kind of like relax.
More relaxed, okay? All right, so Carly, you chose D.
I did.
Which one did you need to choose?
I meant to choose C because ease kind of makes it seem like, because of the fact that like they explained that the German soldiers wouldn't be there for political reasons, and that kind of felt like it would put them at ease or steady.
And then all of a sudden, they're there?
Yeah.
Okay. chose A. Do you remember why you chose it? If you don't, it's okay. I just, I think it's important to explain. Amelia, you chose B.
Yeah, I chose B because kind of like optimism, like they're kind of like we're hope, excited, and kind of like the way you read it too.
Okay, well, the correct answer is C, and that would be Jack and Zachary got this one. And it is because, they were all at ease, they had that hope that y'all were talking about, and that they kept saying the Germans aren't gonna get there, but in less than 3 days, they were there. So, it kind of was supposed to represent like a shift.